Recently, India has had immense focus to sharpen its nuclear capabilities, not just across land and air, but also across sea. And the induction of INS Aridhaman comes as a milestone here because this not only adds the third SSBN but also enhances our capabilities and the tag of nuclear triad well intact. Hello everyone, welcome to Vajiram and Ravi's Flash News. My name is Shubhangi Singh and today we are going to talk about INS Aridhaman. Why it is important, how it changes the scenario for India, how it places India in a very special club and all the facts around it. So starting with understanding that when we are talking about INS Aridhaman, why it becomes so significant for India's whole nuclear strategy. Now, let us start with a very simple fact that as of now, only 5 countries have nuclear triad. What do I mean by that? That means they have the capability to launch nuclear weapons from land, air and sea. And out of these 5 countries, India happens to be one. Now when we are talking about this, when we are talking about sea capability of launch of nuclear weapons, before this we had only 2 submarines, nuclear powered ballistic missile submarines. That is INS Arihant and second INS Arihant. Now we have the third addition to the sea capability, that is what? That is INS Aridhaman. Now what happens with this third edition? First, it will strengthen our minimum credible deterrence. That means if anybody wants to target us, they will be deterred because of the presence of the arsenal we have. Second is, it enhances our second strike capability. How it enhances our second strike capability? So when we are looking at sea capabilities, especially in terms of submarine, they have the maximum survivability. If there is a first attack and India has no first use policy, in that context, land and air capabilities can be destroyed. But the sea capability, especially the submarines, the nuclear powered ballistic missile submarines, they have chances of survival way higher than land and air resources. So in this context, if we have to go for a second strike, they will be the ones to take this up. And this is where we get to see complete consolidation of the nuclear triad with 3 additions of nuclear powered ballistic missile submarines. Now as per SIPRI report, India has around 164 nuclear warheads, okay, and only 5 countries have the nuclear triad. So in this situation, we are very well placed to launch attacks, at least the second strike, across the ranges. Now moving ahead and understanding the technical aspects of INS Aridhaman. So when we are talking about INS Aridhaman, you have to understand that how this is upgraded in a better version as compared to INS Arihant and also INS Arihant. This submarine is built with a larger hull. So when we talk about the lower part that is present, this is called hull. That means it will make it more endurance based and it will have better stealth capabilities. Apart from that, it can carry greater number of long range nuclear capable weapons such as K4 missiles and 24 K15 Sagarika missiles. Apart from that, it is expected in coming years when we will be able to develop better K ranges, more than 5,000 km, they can also be taken up by INS Aridhaman. So the displacement because of larger hull is around 7,000. Launch tubes are more as compared to INS Arihant. We have 8, Arihant had only 4. It is nuclear powered, it can remain months underwater and it has limited acoustic signature because of the high stealth which has been provided by larger hull which is present there. Apart from that, there comes the question that how this enhances our second strike capability. That I have already explained because land and air, they are vulnerable. Sea, that is survivable because of limited detection. in this context, if submarine is enduring from 60 to 90 days, we get to see that if enemy is going to strike first, because as I said, India follows a no first use policy, in that case, we should have retaliation capability. So if we have no first use policy, we are not going to strike first. If somebody is striking us first, then we might be destroyed. We need to maintain such capabilities that we might have the power to strike in the second round, and that comes through this. Because if enemy strikes first, we have hidden SSBNs which survive, and the retaliatory strike can take place through these SSBNs, because they will be the ones which will be launching the SLBMs. Apart from this, we have another aspect that we need to consider is how this has evolved over the years. Because INS Arihant happens to be an addition here, but this whole program of SSBN addition was conceived back in 1980s, where we had this ATV project. And then almost 30 years later, we got to see launch of INS Arihant. Later it was commissioned in 2016. Then 2024 came INS Arihant, and now 2 years later we are seeing INS Aridhaman. This is a program that is spread across more than 50 years. We get to see that 90,000 plus crores has been invested. There has been immense focus on indigenization, so that for such important capabilities, we are not dependent on foreign nations. And over the years, we have increased our capabilities in terms of SSBNs. Whenever I am referring SSBN, it refers to nuclear-based ballistic missile capability. It refers to a submarine which has nuclear capability of ballistic missile. The ballistic missiles can be launched from there. Whenever I am referring to SSBN, it refers to submersible ship, that is submarine, which has ballistic nuclear. So ballistic missile nuclear, that is where we use the word SSBN. So submarine which has nuclear capabilities, SSBN. Apart from that, when we are moving to understand this evolution, it is also important to look at the present challenges and how they can be addressed. Because yes, INS Aridhaman is a huge milestone, but what about the way ahead from here? Because as of now, we see multiple challenges in front of us, such as limited fleet. Because when we are talking about these three INS, they do not give us 100% coverage. We need more addition to that. Apart from that, there is still huge amount of technology gap. We need to invest more and get more results on the research and development front. And apart from that, there is large downtime still present, which can only be solved by fleet expansion in coming times. What are your thoughts on this? Let me know in the comment section. I'll be leaving you here with a prelims practice question, expecting the answers in the comment section. That was all. Thank you so much.